Good day, friends. This is Tracy Brown, and my team and I of non-diet dietitians provide trauma-informed, non-diet nutrition counseling so that you can be your own food expert and feel safer in your skin. So that's what we do. That's who we are. Glad to be here with you, and I have missed doing the videos with you this week. I got pretty sick this weekend, and this is the first day that I probably could get through a few sentences without making lots of upper respiratory noise. Let's just put it that way, and to even get a thought out clearly. So I'm glad to be here. And I've been sharing a few kind of replay videos that I've made over the years just to kind of get you ready for a little bit more of this video. Is that let's talk about the nuances that, you know, we can read about it and we can hear about it. And so I'm just here giving you some more reminders that it's not as simple as sometimes as stop dieting and just stop binging. And I would love it to be that simple, and maybe for a small percentage of people it is. But for most of us is that we have so much of our, the way we do our life and our values and our neurobiology kind of wrapped around like, what are we eating, and is that the right thing to eat? And we're so disembodied that when we stop doing a thing or try to stop doing a thing, we don't really recognize that it takes a lot of time to build new neural pathways as you're renewing your mind, as you're learning new things, as you're doing experiments to see, you know, who you are as an eater. And so I just had a few tips today to save you some time and honestly some frustration. So let's say that you've read the Intuitive Eating book by Evelyn Tribole and Elise Reich, or you've done the workbook, or you've listened to all kinds of things, right? They give you kind of the 101 on things. And when we read these things, we don't recognize that our brain is still wired towards like avoidance of nuance, you know, a really avoidance of nuance and, room for both ends. We're not really, we still kind of look at things through a lens of like right or wrong, perfectionism, black and white thinking. And so if we have a day where we're not fully attuned, we feel really distraught and disappointed, or we're still afraid we're doing it wrong, we kind of turn hunger and fullness into the hunger fullness diet, or we're afraid of our hunger, we're afraid of our food preferences, we're afraid that we like food, or honestly, one of the things that trips people up and makes them run back to diet culture usually within the first 6 months is that thinking that this is taking too long. And the reality is that oftentimes when we're engaging in this non-diet journey, one, we don't put enough time into the first, I would say, 6 months to a year, which is that it takes time to, one, habituate to all the food groups again. And that includes play foods and eating them as much as you can until it's just like not special and scary anymore. And two, people need time cellularly to heal. It takes time. Most people feel like, okay, well, you know, I gained a little bit of weight or a good bit of weight, and but they're still not eating adequately because they're still like kind of holding back, and they know, you know, in our conscience that we're still holding back. That phase has to be completed till really you go on to the next places where it's like you don't think about food as much. But if there's still some mental restriction or physical, tangible restriction, but it's so much better than it used to be, that doesn't mean you're physically recovered. It really doesn't. You're physically recovered when it's like you know that you're going to get fed again. You know that sometimes we go to food jacked and you're not panicked about that. Your energy's good. You can hold still when you're done to do your work day. There's just a lot of things in your mind that's been renewed. There's a lot of renewed trust in your body. There's a lot of devotion and dedication to getting your food needs met despite what's happening and going on in your life. All right. So a lot of that stuff takes a lot of time and practice. And it's not going to be a 12-week kind of like, or a 6-month even kind of program that you might go on if you're on a health routine or a diet or whatever you're used to doing. Your mind has to be changed and healed from the idea of quick fixes in general. You can't perform recovery. You've got to experience it and learn and just be a compassionate witness of the process and keep walking it out every single day. And that's not how diet culture works. Diet culture is sign over your brain and sign over your will to achieve the goal. And sometimes we approach recovery that way as well. It's like, you know, we get to a certain level of okayness and we're less miserable, and they're like, okay, well, I guess that's good enough. And I'm like, well, that's trauma talk. Because, you know, if we can survive, that's not the same thing as recovered. It's like, no, I'm thriving with food. My mind is clear. And I know that, you know, there's more work to go. Like, maybe the food is so much better, but maybe it's like, yeah, I still get offended when people are on diets around me, or I get worried about that, or I worry about what people think about me. You know, that there's still that work to be done, where it's like, we're not really, our worth isn't dependent on if everybody agrees with what we're doing, how we're feeling, about our, like, how other people are feeling about their bodies it's not really getting on you, basically, if that makes any sense. So there's just a lot of nuances that I wish I could cover in like a few-minute video, but I can't wait to talk to you guys about more. So I would love to hear in the comments below, what are you surprised by? What, like, length of time are you surprised by when it comes to habituation? It took a lot longer to get fully, like, weight restored and refed than I thought. Even for people that you're watching this, you're like, I don't need to get refed and gain weight. I weigh enough. It's like, if you've recently lost weight, you're going to have to restore. I know that's really hard to hear, and it's scary because weight gain in our culture means bad. It means you failed, and it's like we have to change our mindset around that. Is that, like, no, our bodies are going to weigh what they need to weigh, and there is a thriving weight for us, and that can be also different in different seasons of our life. So there's the nuance, right? Is that maybe what you needed to weigh when you're younger it's different when you're older, and we know that's true, but that includes our recovery journey as well. Maybe if you've been struggling in recovery for a really long time, and you've had times where things were better and you maybe weighed more, but now you're older, it's like you might need to weigh more at this stage of your life. That doesn't mean that where you were was wrong in the past, but maybe it needs to be different now. So there's just a lot of things that need to be renewed. So I think the most important takeaway from this video is that recovery comes in different stages, and there's different pieces of it that give you indications that there's a fuller recovery. There's always a fuller recovery probably than what you think that you're at, but there is also an end date as well. You know, there might be other things in your life that you're working on. We're always a work in progress with things and different kinds of things. But from the food perspective, it just keeps getting better as long as you don't stop like 5 feet from the peak. All right. So thank you so much for watching this video. Share it with people that you feel that it would help and benefit. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.